Hello, my friends. Katie Day with the Move Me to Texas team here with another episode of the Real Advice podcast. I am very, very excited to welcome this week's guest to the podcast. She is among the top 10 teams in the Phoenix and East Valley market in Arizona, and she is a highly sought after speaker in the real estate industry. In addition to crushing it in real estate and just selling so many homes in the Phoenix area, she also gives back in her local community, both in her church with nonprofits and volunteering as well. In addition to all of this, if she had any more time, she is an absolutely awesome mother and wife, and she is a powerhouse in the video marketing world with amazing lifestyle marketing that she produces for all of her listings and for her community. Please join me in welcoming Shannon Gillette. What's going on?
Wow, that was quite the intro. Thank you so much for having me. It's so cool to be here because you probably don't even remember this, but I've
Oh,
always
geez.
followed you and really looked up to you and save all of your content for inspiration. And I think it was like 2021 Elite Retreat. I was just there by myself. I had no friends. But I looked up to you and Erica, and I was coming down the escalator and I saw you guys there, and I came up like a fangirl, and I'm like, can I take a picture with you guys? And you guys were so nice to take a picture with me. And here we are several years later. I still have that picture. I should send it to you.
You should send it to me. I
It's
mean, I
my
feel
like
the same way about you. So like this could just be like an hour of us just being like, well, no, I love you more. But you
Yes.
know, we'll go ahead and dig in because I there's a lot of information I think that we can cover today as far as marketing and social media and just your mindset behind all of that. So I know not everyone knows your story. So if you could fill in the world, right, of how you got into, residential sales into where you are today, that'd be awesome.
Well, from 2006 to 2014, I was selling new builds in Florence, Arizona during the recession. And in order to sell homes during that time, as an extreme buyer's market, you really had to know how to ask the right questions, how to overcome objections. But there was one question I dreaded asking my prospects that wanted to buy one of my new homes. And it was, do you have a home to sell? Because it was very difficult to sell a
Yeah.
home. And I started to see inside the real estate community as a new home sales consultant because I could only sell new homes. So they would hire a realtor. And I started to see agents do the same thing over and over again. When they would take on a listing, they would take some photos, put a sign in the yard, and throw the home up on MLS, and the home wouldn't sell. And I would get so frustrated thinking like, man, why aren't they doing more? And I left a very successful career in new home sales. I was one of the top new home sales consultants in the entire country. I left to start the scary job as a resale realtor. And I just saw so many agents fail and leave the business. But I started out fresh with no money. Nobody considered me an agent. And I went all into like listing video marketing and really built a brand on social media. And now I'm proud to lead one of the top teams in my market.
That's got to be super frustrating as a new home consultant because it's like I know when we have someone that it's like, they were trying to get their home sold, or they live in another state and they're trying to get their home sold and they just want to move here, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that was frustrating, being like, I'm sure you could do a little bit more. And I know places like Arizona, like Florida, like Texas, like had a lot of homes for sale, right? Like we were all hit hard with the '08 crash. So yeah, I can see where that would be frustrating on your part. Um, I think that it's interesting that that was like your thing, or your focus from the beginning, because I feel as if for me, my to where we are today, of listing marketing, like we kind of fell into it, right? Like we started off with like just the pictures and the sign in the yard and all that. They're like, okay, well, we need to do more, so we're going to do property videos, so we're going to do this, and we've continued to add as time's gone on, right?
Mhm.
I know you have as well. I recently saw on Instagram some video stuff that you were posting and things like that. But like, it sounds as if from the beginning you were like, we're gonna go high level, high service, high, a lot of marketing from the beginning. So kudos to you on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, thank you. It was frustrating to see that for 8 years and really see that these sellers deserve more. Nobody's selling for fun right now. They're trusting you with their biggest asset. And if you're cutting corners and just throwing it up on MLS and waiting for the buyers to find it, it's a disservice to your seller. And it's really sad and frustrating, right? And there's no better way to market a home than through video and video storytelling and all the ads that we can run. And the average US adult is spending 2 hours a day on social media. So we should be getting our listings in front of buyers. And I've had so much success with it. I made a promise to myself in 2015 that I was going to film a professional video commercial for every home I list. And it wasn't easy at first because nobody was watching my videos and they were
Yeah.
very expensive and I had no money. But something told me, keep it up, Shannon. It's going to pay off. And it totally has. And it's paid off not only for me, obviously, I built an incredible business, but it's paid off for my sellers because I've lost count of the amount of clients that have sold their home to somebody that saw the ad, they saw the
Yeah.
video,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it just helped create that urgency.
Well, and so I find it interesting that when you first got in, it was like, I'm going to do a high level on the listing side. So, like, most agents start out, right? And, they help a couple buyers and they help a couple more buyers. And then those buyers become sellers. And that's where they get listings, right? So, like, did you just go all in on listings from day one? And you were like, I've got to find people that want to sell their homes? Or did you work mainly buyers to start out, but like you just knew that if you did listings, it would be at a high level? Or what was kind of like your mix of business in the beginning?
I was so used to prospects walking into my new home sales office.
Yeah,
I never had to cold call. I never had to door knock. So when I started my resale career, I wanted to attract people. I wanted them to call me like I was used to.
yeah,
So I really started building a personal brand on Instagram before it was cool. It was very weird to close down your business page and open your private page to the public and show people your kids, show people your
yeah,
dog and your daily life. So I built that brand, went all in on Instagram, but made the commitment and with video. And there weren't many agents back then on camera for listing videos. So I
for
found a
sure.
few kind of role models throughout the country and tried to kind of implement some of the things they're doing. Um, and it was just so powerful because it's a much different experience if you're a buyer and you're watching a well-produced video of a home with a script and a story versus scrolling through some pictures.
Yeah,
And I could get very comfortable with the way I was doing videos, but I always want to be ahead of the trend. So recently I implemented something called lifestyle first video marketing, and YouTube has become one of my number one lead sources. And I'm creating listing videos with lifestyle first versus the home first. And these videos are living on YouTube forever. And I
yeah.
may get a lead today from a listing video from a year ago because someone was researching the best neighborhoods to live in.
So how would you say your video journey has changed, right? Like I think that not many people go all in the beginning, right? Like they skimp on the listing videos and they do all of that. So but you were like, no, we're going to hire someone to shoot these. And so how would you say you've like leveled up your game, right, over the past uh 8 years, 7 years, if my math
Well,
is correct? I don't know.
yeah, as realtors, we get paid to solve problems. And I got to see firsthand there is a problem in the real estate community that listings are not being marketed. So thankfully, I was able to kind of see that early on and understand video early on before it was so popular. And my first videos were horrible. I've deleted a lot of them. Nobody's going to be perfect on camera day one, but it's like anything. It's like your first listing appointment. You're probably really nervous to sit at their dining room table, and each listing appointment you go to, you get more comfortable. And it's the same with video. Video should really be a non-negotiable. And I used to start my listing videos, I called it home of the day. So I'd stand in front of the house and say, welcome to the home of the day. Let's head inside. And those videos would die on YouTube the day the home closes. Nobody's ever going to watch that again. But
Yeah.
what people will watch again for years to come is if you introduce people to the lifestyle that that home provides before you get into the home. So half of my videos now are talking about if it's a master plan community, the amenities, a walking tour, a drone of the community garden or the local restaurants. Or if there are no neighborhood amenities, maybe we're just focusing on the town and what it's like to live there. Because if you ask buyers, they care more about the lifestyle that their home provides than how many bedrooms it has. I mean, we all live in our home for a reason. If we only cared about the home, we would live in the middle of nowhere, right? We love the lifestyle that the home provides. So asking the sellers, why did you buy this home? What do you love most about it? They will tell you things that you may not know. And I think as agents, we sometimes assume that we know and we never ask them any questions like that. And then implementing that into the video marketing and then taking that video and putting it everywhere. YouTube, we make vertical reels for Instagram, Facebook, and we listed a $3 million home last weekend. We hosted an open house this weekend and someone walked in and said, I just saw the video on Facebook and they're potentially going to write an offer. Like, it's so powerful.
Well, and so back then you were hiring like videographers for each listing and things like that. Like now, do you have a videographer on staff or on retainer?
I found early on this college kid that
Okay.
worked for me on his days off. So it was a really cool, like 5-year relationship where we were both on a journey to learn how to do this
Yeah.
together. And because now I do lead a team and there's 12 of us and we shoot a ton of content, it's too much for one person. And I like things done fast and with high quality. So I want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
shoot a listing video today and I want that back like in no more than 48 hours. Like, we have to get this home on the market. So for our team, we have a full media team and it's a company. So they don't work just for us, but it's the best thing for me right now because of editing time. Like, I need, and availability, because I'm listing 5 homes today. Those are 5 listing videos shot this week. One guy couldn't have done all that.
Yeah. 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 How did you scale, right? So you started out on your own and you wanted to build this personal brand and attract buyers and sellers. And then at a certain point, was it that you had too much business or did you start attracting other agents that wanted to work with you? Or was it both?
Well, I was a solo agent, just me, my videographer, and my TC up until 2020. And
Okay.
all of my closed sales were people calling me. So I don't make cold calls. I don't
Yeah.
buy leads. I don't door knock. I have enough inbound business from people that follow me on Instagram, YouTube. I every day it's my goal to build that know, like, and trust brand. And I got really burnt out. I don't want to call myself controlling, but I just want to do it all myself. Like, I didn't
You
even
just
have,
like what you like, you know?
yeah. And I'm like, I could do it faster myself. I grew up like super poor. Like, I don't want to pay someone to help me. I'll just do it myself. And I just was getting so burnt out. I was 7 days a week, sun up to
Yeah.
sundown, missing dinner with my family. Like, I have 3 kids and it was crazy, but you have to go through those seasons to build a business. You can't day one start a team.
Yeah.
And I had one agent reach out to me and I brought her on. And it was one of the scariest things I've ever done, trusting someone with this brand I've built. And so I started super slow, one agent, then, another. And if it was up to me, I would only have, a few agents, but having a coach also changed my life because my coach is like, Shannon, you literally, like, you need help. And what she said
Yeah.
to me that really helped, and she's like, you need to serve your clients better. Like, you're spreading yourself too thin, trying to do so many things at once. Like, you need help. And our team is very highly sought after. I opened up one spot. I've only ever opened up spots twice to the public ever.
Okay.
And we have had over 50 agents apply in one day. Like, a lot of our community wants to be on our team because I also want to build an incredible culture and a kind of like a family. And
Yeah.
I offer them a lot of benefits and different. We have a beautiful office here in our town on an acre with 40 orange trees. So I want to build a team where people are like, man, it's my dream to be on the Gillette group.
That's awesome. So I know that you recently, got the office and it's in your town and something that I've always admired is the impact that y'all have in the community, right? So how many client events, we're now almost to the end of 2023. How many client events have you done or will you do this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, client appreciation is something that's extremely important to us. We have at least one client event every single month. December we'll have multiple events. And when agents hear that, they may be overwhelmed, thinking like, I couldn't pull that off. That sounds really
Yeah.
expensive. But we just want an event every month, and not every event is in person and super expensive. Of course, we do have like a very large Easter egg hunt with really cool grand prizes, and we rent out a water park in the summer, and we rent out movie theaters for movie premieres. But some of our most popular events are virtual. On Mother's Day, I buy a Starbucks gift card. We send out the barcode to all the moms, all of our clients. They go buy a coffee. They're so happy. They tag us on social. The events are for us to give back to our clients, but it also gives my team the opportunity to be in touch with our past clients every single month. And we're never calling saying, do you wonder what your home value is, or have you thought about selling? We're calling saying, hey, we're doing free family photos next month. Do you want to come? I'll book you a spot. And it's just so cool. And we are building that culture where when we have our videographer at all the events. So the community's noticing, and
Yeah.
the community is telling us, I want to buy or sell a home with the Gillette Group just to come to these events. And also, I think when all of our events sell out, and I think when you have sold out events with hundreds of clients there, it sends a message that, man, the Gillette Group really cares and people like them. They come. If they didn't like us, they wouldn't come to any of our events. And this December, Jen Dillard really inspired me. We were at the Tom Ferry Summit, and she spoke on community events. We do a ton
Yeah.
giving back to the community. We invite our clients to shop with foster kids for Christmas and all these things, but we had never done a true event for the community. And Jen really inspired us. We're going to do the Santa event and open it up to the community at our office. So we're kind of planning that right now.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of the client events that we do when it's an in-person event, right? Because we do some of the similar like virtual stuff, or we're sending stuff type things, right? But when we're doing things out in the community, if it's not, at our office or something like that, like we'll normally do it at a public spot, right? So it may be at a bar or a restaurant or something like that, to where it is open to the public, and then people are like, oh, hey, like what are you guys doing? Who are you? What is this? And then we're like, oh, this is for our clients and friends, and would you like a drink? And grab some
Yeah.
food, and here's my card, and let's stay in touch, kind of thing. And so it's interesting, the impact that it has when you are opening up to the public, or when you're in a public spot. And it just, I think, is a huge brand builder. I really like that y'all have characterized, like, okay, we want to have some sort of touch every single month, but that, some are obviously the grand scale events, right? And then some are
Mhm.
a little bit smaller, that if you had 10 past clients, you could very easily send 10 Starbucks gift cards, out to them, kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
like the different
And
budgets.
another really easy one to implement that anyone could do is a raffle, right? So we have this cool farm in our town with a roller coaster, and the kids love it. So that was our event last month. It's like, I do a Google form, just fill out your information. We had hundreds of clients apply, and we gave out 2 family 5-packs. And
Nice.
again, it's giving back to the clients, but it's giving us opportunity to talk to them every single month. And it's very rare that we ever see our past buyers list their home with another agent. Like, we want to be top of mind. We also have our logos, the Gillette Group and Real Broker logo on the scoreboard at the local high school. So when people are there watching the football game, like, they see our logos. My
Yeah.
kids are in elementary school, and I sponsored calendar magnets with our logo for the school calendar, and it's on everybody's refrigerator. And we want that brand awareness. And we have a commercial that plays before every movie at our local movie theater. And today, one of my listings, it's actually a $1.2 million listing. And I asked her, I'm just curious, how'd you hear about our team? And she goes, I took my kids to see Paw Patrol, and your commercial came up, and I just loved how, you guys look so professional, and you're a top team in the market. And she called me up and was like, will you list my home? And
Yeah.
it's so powerful to just have that brand out there.
What advice would you give to someone if they were looking to build their brand? Because it sounds like you started very early on, right? And knew that this was something you needed to do. As far as sharing things about your life. I know y'all just recently went down to Dallas and things like that, right? So it's like, um, what advice would you give to someone? Because I think people are apprehensive to share.
As realtors, we think we're selling a product, homes, but we're really selling us as a human. because in my market, there's over 55,000 licensed realtors. There's a lot of us, and
Yeah.
we all have a personal brand. And I was scared to lean into my personal brand at first because I thought, could I offend somebody if I post that I'm at church Sunday morning? Or would I look weak if I'm posting that I'm at Disneyland with my kids or at their football game? Will people not think I'm just traveling too much and I can't help them with their real estate needs? But I just took the decision, and it's scary at first, to lean into your personal brand and be like, this is me. These are the 3 to 4 things that are so important to me. And yes, I'm not for everyone. There's not a realtor in the world that is for everyone. You want to build that personal brand of who you are. So I'm very intentional every day. It's my goal to post 5 to 10 stories on Instagram of a behind the scenes of my life, almost like a vlog of like, so people feel like they know me and they've never met me in person. And then
Yeah.
I'm also very intentional, like you are, with my feed, where it's a little bit more professional, like batch filming reels, listing videos. And then I always am sprinkling in my family and the things that are important to me. And when I show up at a listing presentation, a lot of times sellers answer the door and they say, wow, you're much taller in person, right? Because they feel like they know me. They've watched all the videos, but they don't know I am very tall. So
Yeah.
that's so cool to hear that, because I don't have to sell myself, because you can Google me, you can Google our team. We have a great website, we have a great online presence. And if somebody's looking to start, you just have to write down 3 to 4 things that make you you besides being a real estate agent, and post those things on social, and you will attract your tribe.
How do you feel like you've scaled this? Because like well, all of that sounds like okay. So starting out, I'll write down 3 to 4 things. That's check, done, right? But like 5 to 10 stories and posting reels and batch shooting and all of these things. Like if I wasn't shooting any content today, trying to start that tomorrow seems like just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Seems a little daunting. What advice would you give to like to scale to the level of content and to the level of quality that you're doing today?
I think that agents need to know that content is prospecting. I don't cold call, but I film a lot of content, and go all in for 6 months. It's not going to happen overnight, and people are giving up way too fast. They may post a few reels, they get, 10 views and they don't see anything so they stop posting, or they host one open house and nobody comes in and they say open houses don't work for me. I'm not doing that anymore. But give it 6 months, commit to sharing behind the scenes of your life on your Instagram story, and find a videographer. You may need to sacrifice, maybe stop watching TV, get up earlier, like, so you have more time, and hire, like, invest a little bit into your business, hire a videographer, and just go maybe once a month and just sit down and batch film, have them ask you questions or follow people that inspire you and get ideas for content. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of us out there in the industry that are getting business from this. So just kind of mirror what people are doing, but you have to commit to doing it for longer than a week.
Yeah, I would agree on the timing. I think far too many people shoot video for a month or post, regularly for a month, but then nothing comes of it and
Mhm.
they just stop. And I've always said that like I find social media to be, something that keeps me top of mind, right, with my past clients and my sphere. It keeps me top of mind with other realtors for agent referrals. And then it also generates new business, right? But it's that business card. So if someone, as you said, Googles you and they say, who's Shannon? Then they're going to see all of your videos that you've posted. They're going to see your Instagram page. They're going to see all of this stuff.
Mhm.
That's kind of like that whole picture, right? And I would completely agree that too many people stop way too early, and
Yeah.
don't continue down the path that we know can be successful for sure.
Yeah, and you have to get uncomfortable. Nobody is comfortable pulling their phone out and talking into their phone on their Instagram story
Yeah.
at first, or getting in front of a camera. But there's no better way to build your personal brand and that know, like, and trust than showing your face. If I look at a real estate agent's Instagram feed and all I see is homes just sold, I don't even know what they look like. They're not going to sell any homes from that type of stuff. And it's so powerful, and people really do want to work with those that they know, like, and trust. And that's the future. The personal brand, the agent with the best personal brand is going to win the business. And you may not think your clients are googling you, but they are, because I hear it. They tell me, like, I mean, people are going. I just heard a stat that 52% of home buyers start their home research on YouTube. And I have had calls where out of state clients said they went to YouTube and typed in realtor in Chandler, Arizona, and started watching videos. And this lady called me and she's like, I watched a ton of agents and I just really connected with you, right? Because I'm on camera, they can see me and all of that. So YouTube is also something like Instagram. We hear a lot about that, but YouTube is so powerful. And I can't believe if I type in just my city and agents, there's maybe 5 to 10 agents going all in on YouTube out of 50,000. It's just this amazing platform. It's the second most visited website in the world. So if you're not getting your listings on YouTube and other videos on there, you're really missing out there too.
Yeah, I think that YouTube definitely takes a lot more work. It's also a long game, right? Like you're not going to post one video on YouTube and start getting leads tomorrow. But
Mhm.
what I love the most about YouTube is that it lives on, right? Like Instagram stories will disappear in 24 hours. Feed posts, once the algorithm juices have dried up, like people aren't seeing
Yeah.
your posts, for YouTube, right? If you're posting Chandler, Arizona home or the best neighborhood in whatever,
Mhm.
people will search that and can see that in 2 months, in 2 years,
Yeah.
and it lives on. So there's a lot of opportunity there, even in markets where there are already people doing it, right? Because everyone's going to resonate differently.
And especially the listing video, I don't think is talked a lot about when people are talking about YouTube, but that
Yeah.
forces you to get that content. So if you're writing a script for your listing video and talking more about things that will live on and things that people are Googling, that's really powerful. And if you don't have listings, it's worth the investment to find somebody in your brokerage that has a cool listing, or you go and pay, a videographer a few $100s just to build your portfolio. So when you do go meet with the seller, you can say, hey, this is what I do. And
Yeah.
my competitors are not doing that.
I think everyone's heard the story of Brad McCallum's, first luxury tour listing that he did in Calgary was someone else's listing, right? It wasn't even his listing. And he's built such a personal brand on the listing tour, right? And his video skills, and it was, the first listing wasn't even his. So it's great advice.
He's amazing. I was on his channel like an hour ago. I'm always going there for inspo, like for listing video scripts. And thankfully, we're all with the same brokerage and we all collaborate. And I'm sure he doesn't care if I use some of his scripts.
He just his words and the way he moves his body is just like
I
he
know.
he walks so much better than I walk. I was like, I can't
Yeah.
even walk like that. I've watched him, but I just can't move so
Yeah.
agile, and I
Yeah.
don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Both of us have better hair than Brad. He
Oh,
won't
yeah.
he won't hear this, so it's fine.
Yeah. He's
Um,
so good.
awesome. Okay, so I have one question that I ask everyone on every podcast, and so I'm going to hit you with that one, and that is, if it were your last meal on Earth, what would you be eating?
I think about this all the time because I love food. And I love Mexican food, and it would probably be like Mexican food, um, or pizza. I don't ever eat pizza, but I enjoy it. But yeah, that's it. Probably some nice Mexican meal.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So if someone doesn't follow you on social and wants to connect, I would assume Instagram is probably the best place for them to find you. What is your IG handle?
Shannon_Gillette. And I try my best to answer every single DM, depending on the day. So if anyone wants to connect over there, I'd love to meet you over on Instagram.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time today and all of your knowledge. Very
Thank
much
you
appreciated. And I
for
look
having
forward to
me.
seeing you soon.
Yes, see you soon.